Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Utopia Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post-Lightning Overdrive. With the release of the latest Yu-Gi-Oh set, the main focus of the set was the new Utopia support. I was very excited for this support. It really helps just to bring out the full power of the Utopia deck, including new main deck monsters, new extra deck monsters, new spells, you name it. This deck got a whole bunch of new cards in this pack to help power it up to a pretty usable state that definitely would make Yuma proud from the Zexal series, and we'll be getting some more support later on this year, so I'm definitely excited just to add on to this deck some more, along with all the new cards we've already received from this new Yu-Gi-Oh booster set. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck first. For some of the new monsters, we are running 3 ZS Arm Sage. They're just easy special summon monsters. If the only monster you control is a level 4 monster not named ZS Arm Sage, you can special summon this card from your hand. Utopia Xyz monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains this effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can add 1 ZW monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of ZS Arm Sage once per turn. So it's a great search power, and just being an easy special summon onto the field makes it so we can special summon out our number 39 Utopia that much more quickly, just needing 2 level 4 monsters to summon it out. So Arm Sage will also search out one of our ZW monsters onto the field, giving us plenty of cards to then equip onto our Utopia monster, including the new ZW Pegasus Twin Saber. But having that search option alone gives us plenty of cards to work with, so it's a definite 3 of just for that alone. I also run 3 of the new ZS Ascend Sage. With this one, if you control no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. A Utopia Xyz monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains the following effect. You're going to use each of the following effects of a ZS Sage once per turn. If an Xyz summon, you can add 1 rank up magic normal spell from your deck to your hand. So with this card and with your Arm Sage, you have everything you need to basically summon out your Utopia, and then also add 1 of the ZW monsters to your hand to equip onto it, and also giving you a rank up spell to then rank up Utopia into our new boss monster, which is Ultimate Dragonic Utopia Ray. So you have everything set up here with just 2 monsters, making both of these cards definite 3-ofs in the deck, so you always have these resources available to you. The ideal Xyz summon is to use both of these monsters in 1 Xyz summon, but even if you can just benefit from one of them, and with running full playsets of each, there's a good chance that you'll open up with one of them in your beginning hand as well. For some additional support for the Utopia monsters, I also run 3 Utopic Onomatopoeia. This card is always treated as a Zubababa, Gagaga, Go-Go-Go, or Do-Do-Do card, and during your main phase, you can special summon up to 1 of each Zubababa, Gagaga, Go-Go-Go, and or Do-Do-Do monsters from your hand in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for Xyz monsters. You can only use this effect of Utopic Onomatopoeia once per turn. So we run a good number of the Do-Do-Do, Go-Go-Go, Zubababa, and Gagaga monsters in the deck to work with Utopic Onomatopoeia. We just wanted some stronger engines to help with the Xyz play. ZS Ascend Sage and ZS Arm Sage basically work together for their own Xyz plays, relying on Utopic Onomatopoeia along with our next couple cards to just give us additional Xyz play power in the deck, since that's the majority of our extra deck, relying all on Xyz monsters, so we're not limited for any of our plays that we can make. With some of the other monsters, I also run 2 Do-Do-Do Dwarf Go-Go-Go Glove. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Zubababa or Gagaga monster from your hand if you control a Go-Go-Go or Do-Do-Do monster, except Do-Do-Do Dwarf Go-Go-Go Glove. While this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Do-Do-Do Dwarf Go-Go-Go Glove once per turn. But the banish doesn't really matter, because when you use it as Xyz material, it goes to the graveyard as material and not a monster, so it won't be banished, and it'll be in the graveyard for you to reuse again. I only run 2 of this card, though. It works well because Utopic Onomatopoeia is always counted as one of the monsters that you can summon off of Go-Go-Go Gloves, giving you an option just there for a rank 4 play, or even just a special summon, since if you have Utopic Onomatopoeia on the field and it's in your graveyard, a special summon from the graveyard to then use with this card also. For this, we have the Do-Do-Do and the also Go-Go-Go parts taken care of. For the last monster, we're running 2 Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat. If you control control a Zubababa or Gagaga monster except Zubababa Bancho Gagaga Coat. While this card is in your hand, you can special summon this card. You can only target one Go-Go-Go or Dododo monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon for their extra deck the rest of the turn except for Xyz monsters. And you can only use each effect of Zubababa Bancho Gagaga Coat once per turn. Once again, going off of Utopic Onomatopoeia very easily because it's counted as all 4 of the different monsters we spoke of, or just working with Go-Go-Go Glove as an additional monster to summon on the field. Our main play in this deck is Xyz summoning, so being able to have these monsters as added reliable cards. I only run 2 of each because you really only need them. They don't really work well if you open up multiple copies of the same card, and they're also searchable with some of the other spells we're running in the deck also. So really, this is all you need for the numbers. The Utopic Onomatopoeia, like I said, works both with both. That's why I have a raised number of that card compared to the 2 ofs for each of them. We want to see more of Utopic Onomatopoeia in our hand, and more of just individual cards for these, but once again, they're searchable. For the ZW cards, I also run 2 of the Zexal Weapon Ashura Strike. You can target one Utopia monster you control. Equip this monster from your hand or your side of the field to that target. It gains 1,000 attack, and while this card is equipped to a monster, that monster can attack all monsters your opponent control once each, and you can only equip 1 ZW Ashura Strike. Now, I run 2 of this card just because this is one that I found that my opponent definitely tries to destroy a lot more than often. It's also a level 4 monster, so if need be, it can be an emergency material for a, Utopia Xyz, but also just for the fact that it gives a 1,000 power boost. It's also searchable with our Utopia Arm Sage, a big plus there, and that's really all we need for that setup. For some of the other 1-ofs, I run 1 of the new ZW Pegasus Twin Saber. You can only control 1 Pegasus Twin Saber. They're 1-ofs for the rest of these cards, but still great for the play. If your opponent controls life points are 2,000 or higher than yours, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target 1 Utopia monster you control, equip this card you control to it as an equipped spell, and that monster gains 1,000 attack, and once per turn while this card is equipped to a monster, you can negate a monster effect activated on your opponent's field. So you can only control 1 Twin Saber, but the equip and the fact that it can stop a monster effect, a Utopia on the field, we've basically given Utopia a much needed card effect, being able to stop a monster effect and also negate attack with its own monster effect. Makes it pretty difficult to get around Utopia altogether, because monster effects were the one thing that normally would stop Utopia. Not so much the attacks, because Utopia had that covered. It was the actual destruction before your opponent even attacked. I also run 1 ZW Tornado Bringer and 1 ZW Lightning Blade, 2 of the main cards that Yuma used to Xyz summon into ZW Leo Arms. Very, very fitting for both of these. With this, you can target a Utopia monster you control, equipped to that monster from your hand or your side of the field, and it gains 1,300 attack for the Tornado Bringer, 1,200 with the Lightning Blade, putting it at a total of 5,000 power. And while this card is equipped with each one, I'm going off of the Lightning Blade first, having more of the protection from your opponent's card effects, and with the Tornado Bringer having more of a destruction option when equipped with this card, destroying the card that he basically would attack with it. But also, once again, just giving you more special summon options with our ZW monsters, and more of a setup as search power for the Ascend Sage, and giving us other cards we can equip onto all of our different Utopia monsters, along with the Twin Saber and the Ashura Strike. That is it for the monsters. I stuck mostly to a pretty pure Utopia deck, but it works very, very well because the main play is to Xyz summon. So with that, we can do that pretty easily with all the different, Utopia monsters. For the spells, I'm running 3 of the XYZ change tactics. When a Utopia monster is Xyz summoned to your field, you can pay 500 life points to draw 1 card. You can only control 1 XYZ change tactics. Now, the Ashura Strike would definitely be one that my opponent tried to destroy a lot, but also the XYZ change tactics, because it's draw power. For just 500 life points, you can draw a card. I'd say it's a pretty good trade there, and one my opponent would always try to target. I always want to have at least 1 XYZ change tactics on the field. That's why I run 3 of it, so I can see it more often, and at least have it to give me draw power every time I Xyz summon. You can only control 1 XYZ charge, but also just being able to pay 500 to draw gives me more and more plays with all my different Utopia monsters. I also run 3 Onomatopoeia. This is the search card that I was speaking of before. You can only activate 1 Onomatopoeia per turn. You send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and add up to 2 of these monsters from your deck to your hand, but you cannot add 2 of the same category: Zubababa, Gagaga, Go-Go-Go, or Dododo. And the fact that Utopic Onomatopoeia counts for all of these categories, you can search this card and have it count for any of the categories, and then search out either the Go-Go-Go Glove or Gagaga Coat, meeting the requirements for the easy Xyz play on the field. And whatever you send to the graveyard, whether it be one of the Go-Go-Go Gloves or Gagaga Coat, another easy special summon onto the field afterwards. For some of the new cards, I do want to run 3 Zexal Construction. I have one of these Zexal Entrust as a spot filler for it, but you definitely want 3 of this card. You reveal 1 card from your hand. If you do add 1 of the following cards from your deck to your hand, then shuffle the revealed card into the deck. So basically, if there's something unneeded in your hand that you don't need, you can shuffle it back to add a ZW, ZS, Zexal Spell or Trap, a rank up magic spell, or a rank down magic spell to your hand. You have the ZS option thanks to Ascend Sage or Arm Sage, so being able to add one of them to your hand can meet the requirements if you have one of the other ones in your hand to then go for the Xyz play or any of the ZW, the rank ups, which we haven't got to yet. You name it. Zexal Construction is just one of probably the best search spells we have for the Utopia deck. It doesn't give you a plus, but it still provides you with 1 card that can initially set up your main go-to play. For the new rank up spell, I am running 2 rank up magic Zexal Force. Definitely, I would say one of the best rank up spells we have for the deck. You target 1 Xyz monster you control and special summon from your extra deck 1 Utopia or ZW monster that is 1 rank higher than that monster you control by using it as material. And if you do, place 1 ZW or ZS monster from your deck on top of your deck, and this is treated as an Xyz summon. Transfer its materials to that summon monster. If your opponent's life points are at least 2,000 or higher than yours, you can banish this card from your graveyard to draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of rank up magic Zexal Force once per turn. I only run 2 of this card because it's very searchable in the deck, and with it we have our rank up play to either go into our ZW monster, like I spoke of before, or one of the other rank up options with Utopia. The choice is up to yours on what play you want to go for, and then being able to add the ZW or ZS monster from your deck on top of your deck and then banish the Zexal Force from our graveyard to draw it gives us another card we can then equip onto Utopia on the field. I also run 2 Onomato Pickup, another continuous spell for the deck. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Onomat card from your deck to your hand, except for Onomato Pickup. You can only, and then you can target 1 Zubaba, Gaga, or Gogo or Dodo monster you control. All monsters you currently control become that monster's level. So we don't really use it as much for the level adjustment. It's more here for just the search power to add the Onomata Pirate to our hand, and then we can use this card to add the monsters needed for the Xyz play. So just 1 spell leading into another spell. So basically with our setup on the field, we have that draw power with our XYZ change tactics, the search power with Onomata Pickup, and then the even more search power with Zexal Construction, leading all into the rank up spell, rank up magic Zexal Force. It all works very, very well together, and just, how we can easily achieve all these different rank ups and Xyz summons all in 1 turn. For some of the lower numbers, I also run 1 Zexal Entrust and 1 Double or Nothing. The Double or Nothing is searchable with our Utopia double, so being able to add that to our hand and then use with Utopia's attack negation and then doubling its attack for another one can be the real powerhouse and potential win condition against our opponent, just being able to hit that much power against our opponent. And with Zexal Entrust, you target a Utopia, ZW, or ZS monster in your graveyard, add to your hand, or special summon it if your opponent's life points are at least 2,000 higher than yours, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card in your graveyard and target 1 Zexal spell or trap in your graveyard, except Zexal Entrust, and add it to your hand. So with this, we also have the search power to add our Zexal Force back to our hand to reuse, and why it's good because we search it and then we don't have to rely on adding it back to our hand. We can just use Zexal Entrust to add that back for us. For some of the more generic cards in the deck, I also run 3 XYZ Import. I don't run any hand traps in the deck, but XYZ Import helps to take care of a good number of my opponent's different monsters. You target 1 Xyz monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to 2 it. Attach that opponent's monster to your monster as material. So not only are we giving our Utopia more materials, but also being able to then get over those monsters, and the fact that it's very easy to boost up our Utopia's attacks means that we can hit a good number of our opponent's monsters, and even before our opponent would to, let's say, destroy one of our cards, we can take that resource since XYZ Import is a quick play spell. And for some of the other one-ofs, I run 1 Reinforcements of the Army, a good number of warrior monsters in the deck, so very easy search with this card. 1 Call by the Grave for stopping my opponent's graveyard play still, and the 1 Pot of Avarice for recycling some of our monsters back into the main deck for us to reuse by also redrawing them. And then for the only trap that I am running in the deck, it's more of a tech that I'm testing, and I have had a lot of fun playing it, and that is Zexal Alliance. If a face-up Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, pay life points so that you only have 10 left. Special summon 1 Utopia monster from your graveyard, and if you do take 1 card from your deck, place it on top of your deck, that special summon monster's attack becomes double. Also, it cannot be destroyed by battle, except by battle with a number monster. So it's really going off the anime with this play, but a definite fun one at that. Being able to add the proper ZW card or rank up spell to the top of your deck with this card. Giving you a super powered Utopia monster on the field makes it all the better as well. But like I say, it puts your life points at 10, so it's kind of risky, but still all the more fun to go into this play. If you don't want to run Zexal Alliance, you can always increase some of the other numbers of some of the cards in your deck, like adding a second Pot of Avarice, or even going for another Zexal Entrust. It's player preference at that point. You can even try a third copy of Rank Up Magic Zexal Force, but once again, player preference. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the X-Rec main monster in the deck. So you definitely have to run 3 of it. And that is number 39, Utopia. With this card, just needing 2 level 4 monsters. Very, very simple. When any player's monster declares an attack, you can detach one material from this card, negate the attack. And when this card's target for an attack while it has no materials, destroy this card. It is the main go-to card for almost all of our Xyz plays. So you definitely want to run 3 of it in the deck. So you always have a card to go into. With it, you have the easy Xyz summon of all your rank 4s, you name it. So definite 3 of for the deck. For the new card, we're running 1 of the new Ultimate Dragonic Utopia Ray, needing the 3 level 5 monsters, but most of the time we go for the rank up play with this card. This card's name is always treated as number C39, Utopia Ray. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets this card, or when this card is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you can equip 1 ZW monster from your hand or deck to this card, and if it were equipped to a monster effect once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card to target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, up to the number of ZW monsters equipped to this card, and negate their effects. Once again, another monster effect negation off this card, and just a powerhouse the more ZW cards you have on it. So I'll run the one that I feel it's all you really need for that setup. For some of the other cards, I run 1 ZW Dragonic Halberd. I'd say it's the ZW monster that you use with it. It cannot attack directly, but once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card to add 1 Zexal spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So by going into the rank up play with this card, you can then just intentionally add another Zexal spell from your deck to your hand, and target a Utopia monster you control, equip this card with it, and it gains 3,000 attack. Being that power boost for your Dragonic Utopia Ray is a big play there also. I also run 1 ZW Leo Arms, more of the power up and just another rank up option with our rank up magic Zexal Force, because we do want to focus on these ZW monsters being more equipped onto Utopia. Also 1 Utopia double, being able to search out the double or nothing is why I love running this card in the deck. Utopia the Lightning for more of the power attack plays against my opponent. Utopia Prime can be summoned over another Utopia monster having 2,510 attack points, and also just a good option for the Xyz play altogether. And more rank up plays, we have C39 Utopia Ray V and Utopia Ray Victory for the other rank 5 options to go into, along with 1 number C39 Utopia Ray. And once again, don't forget Dragonic Utopia Ray counts as Utopia Ray, but sometimes just an easier way to go over our Utopia so it doesn't get destroyed also. I also run 1 number 39 Utopia Beyond. This one you can really only go into with the rank up spell if you already have a rank 5 on the field to rank up into it. And also I run 1 Gagaga Magician to use for more of the Gagaga summons on the field, and are set up with our Utopic Future, just needing 2 Xyz monsters of the same rank except for number monsters, which we can get pretty easily with all the rank 5 monsters, including the ZW monsters to go into, and the Ultimate Dragonic Utopia Ray, since it does count as number CXYZ Utopia Ray, but also just giving us the option for the ZW monsters to overlay into it if need be. And then as for the go-to plays that I spoke of before, having the easy special summon with our Utopia Arm Sage on the field can then let us summon out our Arm Sage. With ZS Ascend Sage, just having no cards on the field, that'll be the special summon there. Summoning out our Arm Sage, since we only control a level 4 monster, then overlaying the 2 into our Utopia monster, which can be summoned in the main monster zone, thanks to Master Rule 5. With that summon, we can then add off of both of them 1 of the ZW cards, and also 1 of our rank up spells, giving us the option to then rank up our number 39 Utopia into, let's say, the Dragonic Halberd, because then Halberd can search out another Zexal spell, and we can then equip on Twin Saber to the Utopia monster. Or if you go the other route and rank up into a Utopia monster, you can equip Twin Saber onto that card, then having a monster in the field that can stop monster effects with the Twin Saber once per turn, and also the Utopia play. If you have more and more special summon options, because once again, this is a special summon and this is a special summon as well, it didn't take up your normal summon. So if you have more of the onomatopoeia plays going into Utopic Onomatopoeia, special summoning out the Go 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 Glove can give you 2 Utopia options on the field, whether you want to use the 1 to rank up into your Dragonic Halberd, and then the other one just to stay on to Utopia, which you can then equip onto Utopia and then boost up its attack also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely excited that I was able to make the Utopia deck. It was one of the decks I was most excited for from the new Yu-Gi-Oh set, so I hope you all enjoyed as well. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.